How did Kudos music start?
First time I've entered a club and I was going to DJ. I walked in there and there's 3,000 people. That many people dancing in front of you. And I was like, wow. So from there I had the bug. DJs that were there, they were like, who's this young kid? This young kid comes along and all of a sudden becomes one of the top wedding DJs. That's where we met.
My dad didn't even have a suit. And he goes to me, oh son, don't tell anyone I borrowed this suit. And from there, that all sticks in my head. From there we started Kudos.
We've never been the type to chase money, and it's always just been about success.
When you get married, in 10 years' time, you don't remember the chicken tikka you ate. Yeah? You just remember how good the party was.
What's the biggest wedding you have run?
I mean, we've done the Mbani event in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Shipped over stuff to Kenya. So we've done quite some really spectacular events.
थोड़ा सा process वो की है जाने दी थोड़ा को customer आंदा सारा process end तक को मैंने थोड़ा basic overview दे सकते
Phone call comes in, phone me, you say, Baji, you know, we've got a wedding coming up.
Common problems ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਇਸ industry 'ਚ?
The biggest problem is
How did Kudos music start?
I get this phone call off my uncle Sandy, and this was when I was 17 years old. 17 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਕਲੱਬ ਤੇ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਸੀਗਾ first time I've entered a club and I was going to DJ, and this was the days when turntables and records were still in fashion. So there's me with record boxes, you know, with a few of my friends walking into this club. I walked in there and there's 3,000 people. So the first time I ever performed, ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ performance ਕੀਤੀ 3,000 ਬੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ.
Okay.
And imagine, and he gave me a slot that was one of the main slots. Although ਮੈਂ come there anyway, but I was really scared, nervous and everything. So I ended up performing, and it was probably, I still remember the moment, it was probably one of the most precious moments of my life. I was like, wow, you know, like that experience of seeing that many people dancing in front of you. And I was like, wow. So from there, I had the bug for DJing. And then what happened, I got introduced by them to one of the leading wedding. At that time, it was another company which was leading the wedding industry. So my uncle introduced me to them. They're quite connected. So I started DJing for this company. And I was there for like, say, 10 plus years. I think when I first started, the DJs that were there, they were like, who's this young kid? You know, people don't like change and whatnot. And so anyway, this young kid comes along and all of a sudden becomes, you know, one of the top wedding DJs in the circuit. And this was when we was at another company. That's where we met Jazz, and we met together. Okay. So that's where I met Jazz through. So he started also working for this other company. And that's where our connection started. But there was moments there. But like I said before, this connects back to me working at shops and being in business around my family and whatnot. I always had the drive to do more than just work for someone. And I always wanted to be part of a, you know, like be an owner of a company. I didn't want to just DJ for someone. So I, you know, wanted more of the company. I said, look to the guy, I goes, look, get us involved. And he didn't want to, you know, he didn't want to give us anything. So I was like, fine. And the attitude was a bit like, I shouldn't say this on camera, but the truth is the truth. And it was like, look, H, he said, the company's not just about you. It's a company. If you want to go, there's the door, go. And I was like, chalo theek hai. You know, like, apni Punjabi thodi rob bande cha na. You know, you're going to be like, appa bhi, you know, khadan wale bande hain. We're not going to be like...
disrespect nahi chahte.
Yeah, but you know what? Hats off to the guy. I still respect the guy. And I think he keeps us driven even today. You know, he's one of our biggest competitors. But the thing is, I learned a lot there. It was part of our journey. So respect to the guy, because, you know, if it weren't for him, part of it, obviously, you know, you want to grow in life and whatnot. And so, you know, hats off to him. He gave us a lot of guidance and whatnot. But, you know, some journeys split at certain moments. You know, yeah, so you end up taking different turns in life. And that was one of the turns we took. And few people weren't happy, so we thought we wanted to set up our own business. So there was me, Jazz, there's another guy called H, and we started planning to set this company up, which was Kudos. We had hundreds of names, and, you know, coming out with a name was one of the most difficult things. So anyway, we had a whole load of names. We came up with Kudos Music. And that's where me, Jazz, we launched this company, and like we're here today now, you'll see around what we've grown and all the different departments and whatnot. And when we started the company, we only invested £8,000.
8,000.
Yeah, £8,000 into the company each, that was.
Yeah, 8,000 each, yeah.
Which wasn't a lot of money. So that £8,000 wasn't equipment or nothing. This was just getting contracts made. And a big part of it, which we were the first company within the wedding industry to advertise on TV. So at that time, Brit Asia TV was a channel that every youngster, every Punjabi household watched. And so then we advertised on that TV channel. We put a really good advert out and whatnot. And from there, just phone calls were just going mental. They were just, we were just getting phone calls. We were overwhelmed with work. Not only that, I won't just say it's just the advert. We did pride ourselves with having the best DJs, and we put a lot of time, effort, and pride into what we do. So music is one thing. We're always researching music. We're making music. Talking about making music, let me rewind. So in the club circuit, whilst I was with this other company, I started doing club nights. So I became a partner with my uncle lot, and I started doing a lot of club nights. I probably did about maybe well over 100 nights, some of them 3,000, 5,000 people. Some were smaller nights, regular nights. And I started booking a lot of artists. And when I was booking a lot of artists, I became very close with RDB and Kuli, which is unfortunately not here anymore. So very close friends with Kuli, Surge, and Untouchable Records. And what it was with Untouchables, where I became close with them, and again, I wanted more. So I was like, to Tony, who was running Untouchable, I goes, look, I want to get into the music industry. I want to produce a song. And back then, I got lucky. He put me in the studio with Kuli. And so my first album was the debut album, and that had a hit song with Lember Husseinpuri on there called Ishq Brandi. So that track blew up, and it hit all records in the UK on every chart. I think it was in number one on, there's another radio station called Club Asia at the time, and I think it hit like 20 something weeks, number one spot. It was just crazy. And I think it just recently started trending again. Somebody done a mix of it, and again is trending, that song's trending on Instagram and TikTok. People are using it for reels at the moment. So it's gone quite crazy. But so the music for me was the production side. Then I produced that. Then Char Panch came out. Then Giovanni came out with Kaka Paniawala, Giovanni 2 and Nirmal Sidhu. We produced quite a lot of songs. Marjama we done. We started shooting, loads of music videos, and loads of songs came out. So that was also helped with getting recognized out there. So at the time, I was probably one of the only DJ stroke producer who was doing weddings. So I got popular via doing stuff like that. And that's where Jazz and me collaborated on a few songs, and which done really well. And then there was so part of the journey, which I'm going to pass to Jazz now, was he was really good at the camera, and he still is. And we've still been talking about, Jazz, you need to do something. But so we started going around with a camera. I was the cameraman, and he was the main guy.
What happened? Basically, he had Char Panch, yeah? Obviously, Miss Pooja at the time, she was Diljit at the time, that big, yeah?
Yeah.
And he managed, I don't know how we pulled off this song, because he managed to get Miss Pooja. We were little kids, I think I was like 21 years old, and you were 24 or whatever, and he's managed to get a track with Miss Pooja. So she had to do a making video. We done it at Pinewood Studios. You know where they filmed 007 James Bond, just around the corner from here. So we done the film there, and the girl that was supposed to do, she's actually gone really famous now, a girl called Dina Uppal.
Yeah.
She got nervous, I think, and she said, I don't want to do the making of, because we're doing a making of the video. So I said, I'll do it as well.
Yeah.
I done it, and it just went mad. So from there, he was releasing Reloaded. And then Brit Asia, there was another guy called Jazz Bao that owned it before Tony. and he said, "You want to do a show?" Because it's missing that market. You know, they had Suki Bart at the time doing a show, and it was quite for the older crowd. He's a bit of an older man, and they were like someone your age. I said, might as well. Me and him went and bought a camera, bought a mic, and then we started going around to all the clubs. Whenever he was DJing, I would go on do a show, and then we just developed this huge show called Night Shift.
Yeah.
And that's where my brand went big alongside his. And from there, at the similar time, we were like building two huge brands. And at that time, we had no internet. There was no Instagram, no nothing like that. It was
Which
just,
year was that?
This was 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
So showing my age there. And then,
Session time.
Yeah, basically, it was all right for us, actually.
Like that's that's sort of
we were doing all right. We beat the recession at that point. But yeah, 2008, and then I finished university, and my dad was happy now that I had the degree, and he said, right, you know, and I said, either go and do a master's, or should we leave the other company that we were with? And then we just started Kudos. And then Brit Asia was huge at the time. It was like everywhere you went was Brit Asia. And then we were everywhere as well alongside them, because I had a show. Reloaded was like the biggest album in years. And from there we started Kudos. And because we were part of Brit Asia, they ramped our adverts up on Brit Asia everywhere. And then the DJing just went huge. And then from there we started Kudos. We had 4 teams. There's another DJ called Rajiv B. And then Onka, he actually passed away. And then his brother Aman DJ'd for us. And we had a little team of 40 teams. And
now we're sitting on like
14, I think.
Teams,
yeah.
That's
14
crazy.
teams.
Yeah.
I want to
Teams
ask, like, because we're pretty same. Like, we clicked in and we started this podcast. Like, what sort of clicked in? You know, like there has to be something that clicks in.
You know, I think honestly, everything's about timing in life.
Okay.
Like, you know, you just meet people at certain times in your life, and you know, a lot of people are scared to have a conversation. You know, like to ask a question. You know, like to just generally ask a question and break common ground, and you know, to see how the other person feels, and then you kind of see, okay, yeah, we all want to really achieve this big thing because we see the potential in what we can do. And we were young, hungry. I was just coming out of university. You know, the world's your oyster. You got no real responsibility. If you fail, you still live at your mum and dad's house. You know, like going into something, you know, because we loved what we did. We loved the music, we loved the culture. And at that time, UK was leading the way. Now, obviously, Canada's really big and India's really big. But at that time, we had big artists in the UK. You know, you had Jazz Dummy here, you had H Dummy, you had
Shinda, Jazzy,
Dr. Zeus.
yeah, all these people. At that time, all the music was coming out of the UK. So I had, every week, we had umpteen events to go to, and we had music coming out from it. PBN was massive at the time. You had so many people coming out. Obviously, True School, all these people just releasing music. It was the hub of underground music. It's all timing, bro. It's all timing.
It turned into a bit of a cultural show because he was covering Mellas also. Also, we were going to India. We ended up, you know, going around the streets of Punjab and just interviewing
I think that's what took the show really big when we went to Punjab. And funny enough, it was the first time I ever went to Punjab. And we spoke about this off camera.
Yeah.
And our culture is what drew me into, our music drew me into our Punjabi culture, because I didn't grow up, H grew up in a traditionally Punjabi family, like uncles, traditionally family. His dad, if you ask my dad who Diljit is, he won't even know. Like, see, my dad's a proper, like, East London boy, right, mate? Like, talks like that, like, he's brought up here, but H took me to, you know, Harmandir Sahib first. He took me, and I fell in love with the culture. I was like, yeah, this is my culture, and it attracted me. And the way I started learning Punjabi was because I enjoyed the songs. I used to go and Google what the songs meant because I had to go and DJ them, because you can't obviously play a song about something that's not applicable to, you know, certain bits in a party. And that's when I started picking it up. And all this business that we've got starts from our culture, for our love of our culture and love of our music. And that's where the businesses come secondary. Yeah. And the thing is, me and him talk about all the time, even now, we can't give up the DJing. If we gave up our DJing, our company would be 10 times bigger. 10 times bigger. But we love our culture and love playing out. And
I think that's the thing with us is the growth of our business, which we'll talk about Kudos, how we stemmed it now. But the growth of our business, we've never been the type to chase money.
Yeah.
And it's always just been about success. And I still remember that moment when somebody goes, you know, there's the door, go. And I think it's the point you want to prove in life of being successful. And I would always give advice to people, to anyone out there, don't chase money. The money just comes anyway. The main thing that you should chase is being good at what you do. Pride at what you do.
Yeah.
Make sure you do good to people. Make sure you know, every job, I look, yeah, when I go and DJ, every single party, you know, everyone thinks, okay, you turn up, it's easy, chalo, you know, music, bajalo, Diljit, bajalo, you know, it's not just about that. It's, you have to turn up every time. You know, you might be going through other problems outside of your DJing work. You're tired, you're traveling, you know, you like some weekends, like last weekend, Jazz, he flew in from Europe somewhere. He done a 3-day wedding. He's landed here. Friday evening, he's got a party. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You know, he's playing 7-8 days in a row. To pick yourself up every day and switch on and be like, I need to represent it for this client. Every client is as important as each other. You can't be like, chalo theek hai, paise de dete, you know, jo marji bajao. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that. You need to turn up. You need to make sure every single booking is the same. You have to smash every single party.
For them, it's the most important day of their life. You have to...
It just is weird. It just happens. You know, when you're on the decks, you know, as soon as you play that song, it just, boom, all of a sudden, you just wake up and it's just like horse jazz. I normally sometimes turn up to weddings, I'm shattered. I'm thinking, how am I going to do it?
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know what comes into us, but it just like, although it just goes and
it's like going to the gym. Like you don't want to go, but once you're there, you're like, oh, let's just kick in. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
But I think you guys get the dopamine out of the DJ, and then that keeps you going. And obviously, there's a business.
You know, it's the love of what we do. I think, you know, I will say to everyone, in order to be in this industry, you have to love it, because like H said, just going on, you're tired a lot of the time. Like that day, I've finished at 2 a.m., stayed up, got a flight, came home, had to go to my daughter's play, then went to a booking. You have to love your job that much to turn up and stay up 24 hours, because for that client, they waited this whole 1 year maybe to do this function. They've got all their family thrown in from around the world, all these things, and you're the main... You know what I always say to everyone, yeah? And I'm not discrediting any other business in the wedding industry, yeah? But when you get married, in 10 years' time, you don't remember the chicken tikka you ate. Yeah? True. You don't remember what flowers were in the middle of the table. You don't even remember the hall. You just remember how good the party was. That was the best night of my life. Basically. Yeah, the feeling. You know, like when the feeling of that night, and you said, that was the best night of my life. Like, in the morning when you wake up, the text message the bride and groom gets, oh, what a wicked night. They don't say, oh, your centerpieces were so nice, or... That lasts for a little bit when you walk in. You know, you've done the most impressive wedding. We've done a wedding once for a huge, like, millionaire at the Grosvenor House. He must have untold amount of budget. But because, I won't say who it was, but because there's no love in the room, the feeling wasn't there with the crowd. But you know, when you got, I've done parties in people's gardens and the feeling's there, and it could be for 80 people, and you just love it. 100%. And it's like, yeah, this is why I love this job. And it's addictive. It is really 100%. Addictive.
But yeah, back on the Kudos side of things, so I'll give you a little bit of insight. Both of us can fill in on this. It's so when we first started, we started from home, and we had our own. So imagine each of our 4 teams, we had one van each with our own equipment, and it was just the similar setup that we used to go and do at weddings. So we were just signing contracts, you know, doing these packages. Probably the best time of my DJing life, to be honest. It was simple, no headache, no nothing. It was go out, you know, people just loved it because it was just that one package. Now people are spoiled for choice. I think we're probably to blame for that because...
we put too many options on the table. Do you ever think, oh, why did we create that option? We've got to support it now.
You know what? You do make mistakes in business, yeah? Sometimes things you invest in or do just fail, but then sometimes things revolutionize, like things we've introduced. Like I can openly say, I'm not just saying it because he's my partner, things that he's thought about, we DJ all over the world, so we get to see weddings in Canada, weddings in America, Cancun, here, there, Europe, India, everywhere. Things that he's thought about, put down on a piece of paper, filter out to the whole world. And it's so funny because you don't realize how much impression you create to the whole world because of the internet now.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was in Dubai, and I was, you know, Tyrese, the guy in Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah.
Tyrese Gibson, yeah. Remember there's a Panjabi guy called Binder Saini. I think he's in prison now. He was hosted a party for him, yeah. So I got introduced to him. He said, "Look, I want you to organize this thing." I was staying in Dubai at the time, and the production guy came. I met him, really nice guy, yeah. We were talking, and he said to me, I said, "Oh, I do production in the UK as well. I have a company called Kudos." He went, "Kudos?" And he went, "Yeah." He said, "Bro, I've worked for you in the UK." And obviously sometimes you don't know who works for you because through the management that we have, sometimes we don't even know who's working for us on a weekend. He goes, "Oh, I worked for you at this job," and blah, blah, blah. I said, "Oh, yeah." He said, you got this equipment, you got that equipment, you got this is your building. I was like, "Wow." He said, "I based my whole company on your company." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I didn't even know, like, this guy's in Dubai.
Yeah.
And I just randomly got introduced to him. And then he was so excited to work with us because he's like, "Oh, you know, I follow you guys and like really big fans of you guys and blah, blah, blah." And now we become good friends. And anytime we got a function in Dubai, I just give him the work. But you don't realize, like, some things that he does at events are because H introduced them and thought about them and convinced me to buy certain things. Like, it was like, "Oh, we should buy this screen, or we should buy this or that." And now it's become a normal thing in a wedding. Even like in Canada, there's a group there called Frequency DJs. You must have heard of J Static and KSR and people like that. They're like our good friends.
Yeah.
And they came and sat with us, J Static, and he's like, "Look, I want to start this company in Canada." He said, "You know, teach us." And we're not like that. H gave him all the links. This is where we got this from. We got that from. Get it. And then they started their company, and now they've become like a Kudos of Canada. Okay. So he's like, and now whenever we go there, they support us. And one of their DJs is getting married, and loads of our DJs are going to the wedding. And it's like, you know, through the culture, you've ended up.
Who's going to play?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think AJD's doing it. One of our boys, AJD, he plays for.
That'd be a lot of pressure on him.
But the growth of our company was not planned. We never sat down on a piece of paper and said, "This is a 5-year plan." Ever. You know, when they say go into business and here's a 5-year, 10-year plan, we had no plan. Literally nothing has been planned. It's literally been, "What do you think of this?
Yeah.
Will it work?" Chalo, he's like said, he's the gutsy one to say, let's just do it. And I'm very cautious, like I'm very like, "Oh, I don't know, what do you think?" I'll always weigh up but you need two people like that in a
complimentary.
Yeah. He's very much like, "Nah, trust me, it will work." Most of the time it does, but it's good to have that balance with, you know, sometimes yin and yang, whatever they call it, yeah? But nothing was planned, didn't it?
No, nothing.
Because I think you said a very important thing before, because you got to love what you do. And they say you can have any different business like real estate, plumbing, you can invest money in it, but not love it. It will still work. But when it comes to media, the person has to love it.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's thousands of people who are doing it for the love. You can't compete with them by just putting money and forgetting about it.
It's like you guys, yeah? You're doing your podcast. Yeah. You've flown all the way, halfway across the world to do this. You put money into it. Why? Because you love it.
Yeah.
That's why you're sitting here today, meeting all these people, and because you're good at what you do, you have to be good at what you do, of course, yeah? But it's same with us. And like, even with the growth of Kudos and how it's grown to different strengths, it's grown, H made a point, because of our family support, because of our community support. Like this, you know, like now we do functions for people, and we've been doing their functions like...
I'll give you an example. I've done parties for the mum and dad got married, and I've done the son's wedding. Oh, right. And people will still, that's what I mean, we're being within like families and generations and communities for years and years. You know, once you're in the circle, you know, you just keep getting booked by them, and that just keeps growing. Yeah. You know, I go India, I do a couple of parties there. You know, the phone starts ringing. Can you do this? I go Australia, I get bookings from there. It just keeps growing. Now, all of a sudden, the trend, I'm getting loads of clients from America. So I'm, you know, flying to US, to Europe, to all over the place, right? But the love just keeps growing. Yeah. You know, you turn up to an event, you're there, you care, you get to know so many people, you network all the time, and all of a sudden you keep growing it. But yeah, back to the Kudos bit. So when we were working from home, after that, at a certain stage, we decided to get a very small warehouse. So we started renting a small warehouse, probably 4 of these rooms. So it's not a huge space. It was a very small space. So upstairs, we put a mezzanine floor where we put a very small office.
Yeah.
And we built a music studio there. So we had a little music studio there, and we started doing our bookings from there. Then we had, so one of the caterers, the leading caterers in the UK called Madhu's, right? They were doing a birthday party for their kids. They got twins, right? So Arjun and Sony, and it was the 21st?
21st birthday, yeah.
It was a 21st birthday. And they wanted this, at that time, this was 15 years ago now. So 15 years ago. And they wanted this dance floor, which had these LED dots in there.
Yeah.
And at the time, you know, it's a big investment. Again, I think it was at 22 grand it was. And so by then we built up a little bit of a pot, and we were like, should we get it? Should we, you know, like, it's you know, these are, at that time, you know, that was...
We were kids, innit?
That was a big investment. Now you know, now the difference is that, you know, when we do an investment, we have to spend, like, we had to buy a new screen and we spent £1 million just on one item. But it's a different ball game now. You know, like, it changes the whole thing as you grow. But at the time, so anyway, we buy this dance for 22 grand, and we're there, hands and knees, putting this dance floor in and whatnot. So I've always had a policy within my company, and Jazz is the same. If we buy anything in the company, which now we'll get to, but I want to know how it works. So if there's a CNC, that when you were talking to me earlier about CNC machines, I know all about it. You know, Italian machine, German machine, what it does, how it works, 5-axis, 3-axis, or whatever it is. I want to know it, because I want to know if my team is working on something. Job, I need to know in my head, it's possible in an hour, or it's not. But I just want to know how everything works. Right. So no one can, you know, fool you.
Trick
sort of
you.
thing. Yeah, it's not even that. I trust the good thing with our company is the culture that we built in our company. It's is a family. It's a family. Every single person gets looked after within our company. You know, we're all there together. Everyone's a team. You obviously have your politics here and there, but it's how we manage it, which is the most important thing. And you do give people, you know, power, authority to deal with certain things. But so we bought this dance floor, and how we started growing a team. So we used to rent vans, and we basically used to get them delivered to our warehouse. So there's a Lithuanian guy used to come there called Vitalijus, and he used to drop the vans off to us. So one day, I don't know how,
he just showed us
he just showed us on his phone, because he saw that we do events, and he showed us on his phone, look, I used to do concerts back home, and then so we thought, let's try him for a job. So anyway, we sent him out there, because obviously we started getting busy, because we used to do everything ourselves. And then all of a sudden we sent him to do a dance floor for us once. And then anyway, somehow we started using him a bit more. Then we took him on as a full-time employee. And then we ended up, at the time, I ended up somehow going to China with my uncle and everyone. And I had this idea about having lights around the venue. And LED lights weren't a thing then, because it was all about halogen, like high-powered lights. And with venues, you couldn't plug them in everywhere, because you blow the sockets, and it wasn't working. So anyway, so I've ended up in China, and I had this idea of LED uplighters. And so we've gone out there. I've ended up going to a very big factory and managed, it's called Neon at the time, very big place. It looked like a city, their place. So I've ended up there, and we've purchased these uplighters. And we were the first company at the time to start doing these uplighters around the room. And so we bought a load of these lights. So he was the guy, he'll go and set them up. Slowly, we started buying a few bits at a time. Light Alelia, then we bought this. Then we went to an exhibition here. There was a LED screen that was on display, which was only like 2 meters by something. So we ended up buying this LED screen. And then just from there, it just started, you know, growing.
You got the confidence.
Yeah. And then
equipment side of it organically grew, like building a whole warehouse, building all these things. I think everything just came from the love of the events, because we wanted to make the events better. So it didn't come the other way around. We didn't think, oh, let's go and buy this equipment. It was just because we love doing events. That was the main thing. Like, how can we make the event better? Remember I said something to you off camera, you can see the evolution, not just of our company, but of our people in the last 20 years. I started DJing when I was 14. I'm 39 now. So 25 years I've seen, Panjabi weddings go from school town halls, from long tables to plastic plates, to now we're in Mayfair, History Museum, top, and you can see the evolution of our people, and we've been part of that growth. Our company has been part of, I think we've grown with that generation of our people. Like, you can see the education. Our parents, some of our parents, like, had normal jobs. They just came here and they worked as, cleaners or builders or
Taxi.
Yeah, taxi drivers.
Yeah. I was a taxi driver at a point.
You were taxi driver.
Yeah, I did it myself.
Yeah, do you see what I mean? Like, if you look, even Uncle, like, he used to do taxi, and then we used to go into Uncle's shop, like, and help his dad in the shop, and you see the evolution of where his first house was to where Uncle lives now, and where my parents, like, my dad had 2 jobs, he used to go work and then go work again. And, it's like, it's funny because I always remember this story, yeah? And I'm going off the point about the company, yeah? I remember this story when I was about 15, 16, and we didn't have a lot of money. We were quite a poor family, yeah? We grew up in Southall, which I grew up in Roots, and like in my roots, that's where I was from. And my dad was getting ready for a wedding. And I said, my dad didn't even have a suit. He goes to me, oh son, don't tell anyone I borrowed this suit. And from there, that always sticks in my head, like, that I wanted to make something of my life and give my dad more, and give my family that lift up and change from us being the poor family to, no, it's not all about money, you have to stay together, but it is about money as well, yeah? It's important for us to have a good life as well, yeah? And, that's given us drive. Like, H has got drive, I've got drive to make our families better. And now, like, where we've taken our families to, and I can see, like, how proud my dad is that he's, his 2 sons, and his dad's very proud of his sons and his daughters as well. And I think that drive has helped us build this company. It's come from drive, it's come from love, it's come from passion of our business, like, in our culture. And I think the things came after, innit? Like, how do we make this event better?
Yeah.
How do we introduce these LED screens? How do we introduce this build? And we gave it to our people, and really, Punjabis, we love to party, innit? We love to throw a party. That's what we love, innit? People know us as, we hold the best parties. You speak to anyone, even my wife, Gujarati, and her family are like, your family is so fun.
She speaks more Punjabi than him.
I think we need to have her on the podcast.
Yeah, we need to get her on there. Sorry, chairs, yeah. But I think it's all come from that. And it's come from, building a business, especially, I think we're a pivotal part of our community. And what's beautiful about our business, yeah, is we meet everybody. Because everybody gets married. So you meet Surinder Kandola, who's the biggest hotelier in the country. You'll meet, biggest Domino's Pizza guy, and the biggest Surinder Arora, who's the biggest hotel. And these guys should give you inspiration. Because you're like, wow, look what these guys have achieved. Surinder Arora is about to build the next terminal. Yeah. Like, might build the 3rd runway in this country. Yeah. Like, we went to his party. You got Rishi Sunak sitting there, and this and that.
I DJ'd at his 60th birthday.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So do you get what I mean? But then sometimes you meet some normal families who are, getting by, and the dad sits with you, and he's still a desi man that's just, you just tell me, help me with whatever. They just want the best for their kids, but they haven't got millions of pounds of budget, but we still show every job the same respect.
The first thing I always say with the client, and I always say, look, regardless of what setup you put in, you're still going to get a great experience with us. Do things within your means. Don't start taking loans out. Don't do this, don't do that. I goes, there's more to life than, putting up a big setup. Yeah. Do things within your means. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure, do the right thing. Don't look at your neighbors and think, oh, they put up this, we need to do this. It is a big problem within...
Competition बढ़ जाता.
Yeah, but ਉਹਦਾ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਇਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਇਹਨੇ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੂ ਪਾਈ ਸੀਗੇ ਇਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ.
So you actually care for them.
Yeah, 100%.
I think you have to. And the other thing is, I always say to everybody when I speak to clients, I say, don't get caught up in the big wedding. You know, people only remember, you can have the biggest setup in the world. You can have all the screens, all the lights, all the everything. But if your DJ isn't that good, what does that matter? Yeah. If your performer's not that good. But if you got someone who comes and delivers, I can deliver on 2 small speakers and still give you the best party, because people care what's coming out of the speakers, you know, and I know all our boys can deliver. And that's one thing I think we still maintain is the love for our job, regardless what setup you put up.
So obviously, you started from like 2 bands. You're obviously doing DJ before, right? After that, as you obviously grow your team, like ਜਿਵੇਂ team ਵਧੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਲੋਕ ਵਧੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਹਨਾ, team member ਵਧੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. How do you maintain like the quality that your client is getting? Like, how do you control that? You have systems in place, or what's?
Yeah, so we've got CRM systems to manage all of it. So we have automation. We've actually introduced a lot of automations as well. Client books in, once it's confirmed, it triggers up certain departments automatically. It depends what's involved. Different staff members get informed about the job, and then the client would get a phone call from another department, which then starts to gather more information. All the different departments, print department, design department, so everyone gets their notifications. Each one of our projects is managed by a project manager. So that is not the DJ, that's a project manager who understands how to produce an event. So that person will make sure all the plans are done, CAD plans are done, the 3D, if they need a 3D drawing, they'll do 3D drawings for it. You know, they'll contact the venue, make sure risk assessments are and method statements are handed over. We've been doing it for so many years, so we got it. And then also, one of the most iconic venues in the UK where the in-house supplies, which is Natural History Museum. You know, imagine the museum closes at 6 o'clock. By 8 o'clock, people are ready to come in. And we transform that venue in 2 hours. 1 hour 15.
1 hour 15. Yeah. We're ready by 7:15.
Common problems kehdiyan on the ice industry?
Common problem is, the biggest problem is that I find is people don't value their worth. Like, people are doing, so there's 2 sides of this, right? One is, it's a business, right? And also your talent. So imagine you're a DJ, I'm a DJ. Your price should be this for your DJ, this is your equipment. Now, there's a lot of companies out there that sara andar mix karke, and you break it down, and I'm thinking, you might as well go and get a job. Why are you running a business? Because you're just about making a wage out of this, and you're taking on all this headache. They don't put the value of equipment depreciation. You know, you've got a certain window you need to make. Your money's like your cameras, yeah? You've got 2-3 years. If you don't make your money out of those cameras within 2-3 years and a profit, there's no point you having those cameras. So there's a time frame that you need to get your return out of anything. People out there just don't value, or they just don't know how to do business. You know, they want to do a party, they do it cheap, but they don't realize that they just, you know, they don't do any justice to the industry here. This is the UK. Now,
I think, just to add on to that part, because we're in 2 spaces. We're in the Asian wedding market, and we're also in the corporate market, What I find sad is that Gore look at us like we're Indian company, and it's our own fault, because our working practice has seen as, oh, you're Indian AV company, not just an AV company, not just, oh, you're good enough to be sitting with the traditional English companies, And it's our own fault, because in where H has said the price points aren't where they should be, the only way you get to that price point is by not delivering a job properly. That's it, and doing it to the proper standard,
Cutting the corners.
So you're overloading your vans, you're not taking in the correct staff, you're not going with the correct insurances, you're not delivering. Like, if I showed you a picture of an LED screen that was put up at a venue that we're regularly, then the guys attached it to a truss. Like, you're talking a ton of weight with tape, gaffer tape, like black gaffer tape, And I'm thinking, if this falls on someone, you're going to kill someone. And the problem is, they think we're all
The same.
That same.
the same.
So when we come up, because we're in that other space of the corporate world,
Hanji.
we have to fight a little bit more to break the barrier that we're not the same like that. Not saying all of the Indian companies are like that, because there are good talent in our game, and there's Pro System Services. There's other really good guys that take a lot of pride in their work, just like us, because we're passionate about it. We don't want to be just seen as an Indian company.
100%.
We want to see as we can sit with anyone.
Be professionals.
Yeah. We want to sit with everyone. We want to take our weddings to be regarded as, or our functions, our delivery as the same as everybody else, and that's why we sometimes are a bit critical of other people, because we're like, guys, why are you doing it like this for? This is the proper way to do things. Not chalo, theek hai, we'll get away with it. I think that's the reason that people
another
do that.
thing, he's just thinking about us Indian wedding DJs, I'm not just saying it, we are the most versatile DJs in the world, I would say. Yeah. Like now, because we play every genre and we know it really well, like now, for example, some of our DJs, I did an Indian wedding in Morocco, Marrakesh. There was a couple there, Greek couple, they were there as guests. They saw us performing there, and Greek couple, they booked us for their wedding. It wasn't me, I couldn't do it, so I sent one of our team members there. Two of them went there. They did the wedding. That's how much faith they had. They didn't know the culture. Now, our guys have researched the Greek music and obviously English and whatnot, From that wedding, this was in Greece now. They flew them to Greece to do the wedding. From that one wedding, they picked up 3 other Greek weddings. So it just shows you that it's not just, turning up to a Panjabi wedding or a Hindu wedding or whatever it is, Indian wedding or Pakistani wedding, but we're so versatile that we can go to any party and play for any genre, any type of crowd. It's not a problem.
Yeah. That's important, because before Harry was asking about team values, ki team value kitna pass on karna. I think one of the biggest and important thing is when you are crazy and you're leading by example. Like this is how strict we are. This is how we want to lead the industry. People look up to you. They follow.
Like the old school mentality I've known with a lot of the older bosses, is very much like rule by fear. Like be scared by us, and you have to do what I say, and it's my company, and you do what I say, and I'm the boss.
Authority
figure.
Yeah.
I think it used to be like that. A boss used to be like that. Now you need to make your staff fall in love with your company just as much as you love it. Yeah. And if your staff are in love with your company just as much as you are, and they fly your flag high just like you do, then you're going to be successful. Yeah. Because when that person's on, you can't be everywhere. So when they're representing, like H said, they went and done this Greek wedding, they're representing as good as having him. And that's what you need. And the only way is exactly what you said. It comes from the top, and the passion that you have. Like I've seen sometimes where he's turned up to a function and he's not happy where he's set up. Not because it's the good of him, it's the good of the event, the whole event. And he's turned around and said, look, I think for your event, this would be better. Sometimes I go to concerts and I think, I'll put more equipment in someone's wedding. Yeah. Like, I think, where did I go to a concert once? I was thinking, I literally put more kit into Grosvenor House at a Panjabi wedding than this artist from America has come here and got, because that's this level of stuff we were doing. And that's what's enabled us to grow. Like, when we bring a new thing in, and people do sit there, your customer challenges you a little bit, because they're like, oh, what's new? Yeah. Like, what I've seen this on, and Instagram has really now put you in a place where you're kind of at a dilemma, because you want to show off this really good work that you've done. Like, oh, we've done this amazing job at Natural History Museum or the Grosvenor House. Yeah. But then a client will come to you and say, oh, we've seen that 10 times. What's the new thing? Yeah. And then you think, what else are we going to buy now? So then you buy new lights, and then you buy new things. But it's helped our company evolve and be a market leader, because we've got it in our head that we want to be the market leader, we want to be the best, we want to be the top.
We're lucky because we've grown, we're very unique in our setup as an events production company, because somebody comes to us, we've got in-house designers, we've got all our project managers here, we've got CNC machines, we can customize anything, we could do things that are very unique, very different, very bespoke for each event. we stock a lot of elements that we build, which then get reused. We're very smart with the way we've set up our
and
business.
the team has enabled us to do that. So, we've got a draftsman like a guy called Savraj that works for us.
How many employees do you guys have?
About 60.
60.
Yeah, but then with our games, on a weekend, we could have 300 employees because we've got freelancers that work for us regularly. So, you don't know sometimes who even people are working for you. Because like a project manager, like H said, so if, let's say I'm a project manager, I'll have my own team that'll do my events because I like the lighting design I use. I like the cooperatives I use. I like the riggers I use and things like that. So everyone has their own team, and that's that project manager's responsibility to deliver that job.
Yeah.
Our job as DJs is to go in and DJ the party. We walk in, everything's done, and bang, we're here to smash the party. But all the background work
there's a lot
comes
of
from the team.
there's a big process behind what we do. I mean, without systems, for example, your company doesn't run. We're at a point.
I love systems.
But again, in the wedding industry, we were the first people to build a CRM system.
Yeah.
People didn't even know. That's what made us. We made a custom CRM system, which managed accounts, managed clients. We're dealing with 1,000 clients a year, so you can imagine how much information
We need to take.
you need to take
Now,
in.
people want answers there and then. They don't want to wait a week for a quote.
And each
Yeah, I
event.
think clients ne apne, they don't care the problems that you're facing behind the scenes.
They want answers.
They want results.
Yeah,
what they want.
100%, man. They don't care that it's middle of wedding season. They phoned up for a quote.
Yeah.
And you know what I have seen though, I don't know if this is just us in our business. I've seen people become less formal now. Sometimes I'll communicate just on WhatsApp with a client. I'll put our WhatsApp number on our social media, and they'll WhatsApp us, are you available this date? And it'll become a real quick conversation. They prefer that than sitting there, dear Kudos music, are you free on this day? You do get those clients, but some people just want answers there and then. And you can be that way back with them. And I think business has changed, evolved. And we've wanted to do that and evolve with that as well.
Yeah.
So I think you have to in business.
The scale of what we've done now, like the managing of clients and the whole process, that's what makes us very different to
a lot
of
of
companies out there, and that's what makes us really streamlined. It's how we take in a booking and how it gets executed, especially with the amount of information you have to take on board for each event.
Yeah.
And that's without systems you can't do it. You need systems in place.
What sort of system? So CRM is one. Yeah,
It's not about what we're using, it's how we've created it.
I think what
how
also
we create our flow.
we realised as well is that because we made a completely bespoke system, but the internet moves too quickly. So we used that system, and that system became outdated. So what we realised that we're doing it in the process of it now. We're changing from having our own tailor-made system to companies that this is what they do and making our business fit within their because they keep constantly updating their CRM systems. You have Salesforce or whatever.
Yeah.
They're a big player, so you're better off making your business fit with that model.
Yeah.
Because if you try and make your own CRM system, by the time we've experienced
Now there's like
it comes with a lot of bugs and plugins.
you've got systems out there. I was watching a seminar this week where AI's kicked in so much that you can tell it on AI, this is what I want my system to do, and it creates it for you.
ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ business ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ like from the scratch, if you were to start this business, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ advise ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ? What would you advise?
I think now it's much harder now to do what we did 15, 16 years ago. I actually feel a little bit for the generation coming up now to compete at this level. You need big investment. Like H mentioned, we started with £8,000 each, You can't come into this game now and be £8,000 each. You got to come in with an investor that's giving you £2-3 million, because just working hard and going into a industry now, I don't think it's enough. I think times have changed. I think I would give people advice and say, be passionate about what you're doing, because that shines through in everything you do. But I think it's much harder now. If we were to start this company right now and just come in and say, okay, Jolo, we're going to go start this company, I think it would take us much longer than it did.
Other thing I'm finding, right? Especially, okay, so there's the business side is one thing, right? Obviously, that's organically grown with us as DJs, right? But even future DJs coming up, when we started as DJs, we used to go and shadow another DJ. We'll go with them on the road and we would learn how to do weddings, right?
Yeah.
Because anyone can get now a laptop, a DJ controller, and think they're a DJ, which is fine. But the depth that we know, for example, that I learned off another person, Jazz did, all of us did, the depth you learn of a person that's been doing weddings for years, understanding the situations you're in, thinking on the spot, music knowledge, because you need to know music from years ago to this. You're dealing with different genres, different clients, different people, audiences. You need to learn how to read a crowd. Thing is that you can't, the new generation coming through, they don't want to do that. There's no youngsters out there that want to go and shadow someone. Very little. Before, every DJ would have 2-3 people with them learning. Now, zero. I haven't got no one that's shadowing me, for example, and will be coming through. People think, chalo laptop le lo, shuru kar do. But what they don't realize is that you're not learning the depth that we know. I get it, there's a lot of playlists out there, this and that, but you still need to know when to play something.
And I think those are the people who will do it for the cheap.
There's that, but I think...
When we were young, you couldn't see things on the internet. Like everyone's weddings are on Instagram and things like that now. On YouTube, there's loads of weddings you can watch. When we were kids, the only weddings you went to was the weddings you invited to, really. And you had to be a roadie to go to a wedding.
100%.
Because if you actually look at it, if you think about it, how many weddings you get invited to a year? Actually get invited to. The card comes through your house, 2-3?
Yeah.
Tops a year. So in your whole life, let's say, in your whole life, you might go to, if you're a very popular person, you go to 3 weddings a year in your whole life that you can remember from, let's say, 15 to, 65. You might go to 150 weddings in your whole life if you're a popular person. We go to 150 weddings a year.
Yeah.
So being a roadie, I think with a younger generation now, they're very smart. They're a lot smarter than we were. Like you see that. I even see that with my kids. Like they're so smart. You see the generation, the DJs we've got coming up now, some of the stuff they do, I'm like, I get baffled.
I think being smart is one thing, but then performing under pressure, that just comes with
That's
experience.
harder. So I think that's what H means is it's not the knowledge and playlist, it's more the understanding how to have stage presence. Because you look at the old performers, look at Jazzy B when he's on stage. That guy's got so much stage presence, you can't buy that. You can be a good singer, but can you buy that stage presence? That comes with years of, he's a seasoned performer. And I think that's where H has been performing 25 years. Sometimes you learn those traits of someone when you're kind of on stage with them. So that's the difference. I think it's that maybe.
Yep. I think learning काफी अपने लिए easy हो जाती है when you can actually see someone doing it.
100%.
Makes it much easier.
I mean, we still learn. I go with, sometimes some youngins do come with us. We still learn off them. So you never go through a stage in life where you stop learning. You're learning, forever. But with the business side, I do feel it's getting more and more difficult out there to launch businesses. It's not you're in business with your family. It's not, you tell me, somebody new come into your industry, how hard would it be for them to now establish themselves?
I think कोई भी तुसी industry च जाना, like you need to actually maybe do a job in that industry first, so you can understand the product, understand the
from basic stuff.
Basic stuff. That's what I did. But then starting a business, depending on what type of business, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ investments भी चाहिए होंदियां ने. कई business इदां ने service based ने, you don't really need a lot of investment. You can buy a few tools and then get started with that stuff as well. But also, I guess what I was discussing with you, because अपनी ਜਿਹੜੀ audience there are people who are actually struggling financially, right? They want to improve. Maybe some of them want to start a business. So we want to talk to them how they can start.
So I think the main thing that what I've noticed is someone said something to me, and this is actually a younger guy. He's about 20 years old. He said, if you don't make the most of the internet for your business, then it's your own fault, because the internet's free. He said Instagram is free. all these things are free. I think people, like you've gone and done this podcast, yeah, and I respect you for it because I've been talking about doing a podcast for 5 years and I just haven't had really the guts to go and do it. When I actually look at you guys now, what you've set up, it's really impressive. So I had this realization about 3 weeks ago, yeah. I was on TikTok, I was in Italy in a place called Sorrento, yeah. And I was looking at places to go, yeah, like where to go and have, that gelato ice cream, whatever it's called, yeah. So I went to this strip. There's shops everywhere, gelato ice cream, yeah. The ice cream shop I went to was the one that I saw on TikTok that had been trending, and that had a queue, half an hour long queue. I waited in the queue for half an hour because I wanted to go to that one because that company was clever enough to be all over the internet and to master it. And that's what I think, now you have to change and move with the times. I think you've got to be good on your social media. I think I'm like that. If I want to go on holiday somewhere, you book a hotel, what's the first thing you do? You go on Instagram or you go on TikTok to have a look if it's good or not.
Look for inspiration.
Yeah, you have to be good on social. And that's where we've realised as well, you have to be solid on your social media. I think that's a really big important part of your company now.
थोड़ा जिहड़ा process आ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਆ ਜਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ customer ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ process end ਤੱਕ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ basic overview ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I'll give you a little bit of a structure there. So a phone call comes in, you phone me, you say, Baji, we've got a wedding coming up. So we understand the clients, what they want. Firstly, venues, times, location, number of guests and whatnot. One thing I'll always check with the customer is, have they been to any weddings? Have they seen anything they like? I like to understand what they want, their vision. Sometimes clients will go with, not sometimes, most of the time, they would go with our advice because we go to a lot of the venues over and over again. So we would advise them what sort of setup we recommend.
Okay.
I always believe don't oversell things to people. Understand their budget. Some people have huge budgets and they want to go really extravagant.
Yep.
Some people, we explain to them what elements that are necessary, and then these are must-haves. These are luxuries that you can add on. Premium. So they get an idea. So the booking comes in, it gets confirmed, right? And imagine we're dealing with so many customers, 1,000 customers a year. So in our CRM system, it gets logged in. It gets confirmed on our system, and then automatically certain automations start to happen within the system. If they've got design elements, so if they've got any graphical design elements that are within the event, the design team would get informed. Then once the designs are done, the print department gets informed automatically that there's prints on these days, so they get
a job sent to
they get jobs. All jobs start automated, start going onto their boards and stuff. Then we've got the CNC department, which is the CNC woodwork workshop, which, they might need to create bars, but that needs to also sync in with the print. The designer has to design, needs to get printed, the print gets over to the workshop, they need to put it together. So within within an event, right, there might be, 100 elements. So you need to make sure all of it syncs together. Yeah. Only way you can do that, system does a certain amount of it, but it's people. It's project managers. So each project is managed by a project manager.
Okay.
So that project manager then needs to understand the job. They need to contact the venue. They need to give the venue risk assessment, method statements, CAD plans of what we're doing. They need to know what power is at the venue. Then they have to liaise with all the other suppliers at the venue. So they need to make sure they can't turn up 10 vans at once. What's the point? You're killing how many hours of work? So we make sure we get a time slot. So the project manager is the one that gels everything together. But within the company, there's so many different departments, so many different parts of the puzzle that need to all join together. So that's important. And again, like I said, system is the way this all happens.
So ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਆਈਡੀਆਜ਼ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਸਟੈਮ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅੱਛਾ ਮੈਂ CRM ਸਿਸਟਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਡ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂ, CNC machines ਐਡ ਕਰ ਲਵਾਂ. Where do you get these ideas from?
Something happens to me tomorrow or anyone, people need to know information because you're dealing with so much information. And it needs to be centralized, it needs to be managed in the correct way. And it's systems, you can't hide away from it. You could write it on a whiteboard, for example, but the information behind that one text on a whiteboard, you're not going to write an essay there, but there's so much information behind it
Yeah.
that all needs to live somewhere, which people need to pick up. Any team member tomorrow leaves, there's other team members that can pick up from the information. But these things we're always improving. I'm always, learning. I'm always watching seminars. I'm always watching how to improve, different elements of it. But the main thing now is more and more I'm focusing on is on automation. Not meaning like putting robots in place and stuff. It's more automation of the system, how information gets spread
That
around the
way,
company.
your clients can get the same result every time.
100%, yeah. So like even recently I've employed someone which is going to be just phoning clients, another person who's just going to be ringing up, working. We're going to make our response time of dealing with clients even faster. Like making sure logistics, planning and stuff like that, it's more efficient, more in advance, not left so last minute, because you're dealing with so many different clients and also their schedules. So it's you need team members. You can't do it yourself.
Interesting you say that, like you have another team person on board ताकि थोड़ा speed up हो जाए process, क्योंकि ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ क्योंकि कई ਵਾਰੀ ਆਂਦਾ ਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਂਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਗਰੋ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ, ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਮਾਰਕੀਟਿੰਗ ਕਰੀਏ, but sometimes ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਨਵਰਜਨ ਰੇਟ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਵਧਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ.
100%.
So we become more efficient automatically on the conversion.
But there's not only that, you can explore, you can also, the clients you have, if you service them even better, that, say if you've got 10 clients, there could be, that 10 could be 20, meaning the same 10 could be the value of 20 if you gave them enough service. There's loads of times we turn up to events where we see, oh, we could have done that, we could have done that, we could have done that. But because we deal with so many clients, we haven't explored how much more we could have done with that one client. So that's where I feel that having more team members to explore and understanding their event more and what they've booked is important.
Like, is there checks and measures in place कि make sure time नहीं waste करे, service proper दे रहे हैं या नहीं दे रहे?
I mean, that's the thing. That a lot of it comes down to trust.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's very hard, the size of the company we are, to micromanage everyone.
Okay.
And I feel that you need to you're going to get people that slack. You get people that don't deliver all the time. It doesn't matter how big the company is or small it is. You get people with bloody mood swings. One day they turn up happy, one day they're this, one day, you're dealing with all sorts of stuff. Yeah. But I think it's trust. You have to trust your staff. You have to trust the team around you and have faith in them that they are doing the right thing. You can inherit them with your values of what you would expect. And I always say to them, look, imagine if you was the client, what would you want? So they need to understand if they want a certain service, they should give the certain service as well.
What's the biggest wedding you have run?
I mean, we've done the Mbani event in the UK, which was a huge event. We've done loads. We've done so many. We've shipped over stuff to Kenya. Yeah. So we've done weddings in Africa where we've designed everything from here. We've shipped over stuff in containers. So we've done quite some really spectacular events, and we do them all the time.
So I think a lot of the times we see big companies, and then if we use them as an inspiration, we get confused. Now you have a CRM system. Someone who is starting from scratch, they can't think of that at the moment. I think that's not a good starting point in my opinion. Yeah. So they have to start on the whiteboard. Like
it's true. So I watched this thing, and it's sorry to interrupt you, So I watched this thing. It said that when you start a company, you're the salesperson, you're the person doing the job, you're the HR, you're the marketing, you're the accountants. Yeah. And then when you grow a little bit, you get a person that does a little bit of marketing, a little bit of sales, and a little bit of delivering the job. And then when you employ again as your company gets bigger, then you get more specialists as your company gets bigger. So then all of a sudden, the guy that does a bit of sales and a bit of delivering the job just becomes a salesperson. And then the person you employ just becomes delivering the job. Then a marketing, then a social, then you get all these specialists that you employ later on. That this is going later on into the job.
But what do you do when
you're just the one that at the top? I think
that's one thing. But then also the other way, like when you're starting a company, when you have to do everything, right? Then you hire a few people, and then you can't have one specialist at that
That's
time
what I'm saying
either.
to you. The special, as you grow, your specialists.
Yeah.
I saw this chart, and it's like you get
Organisation.
more specialists as you grow. Yeah. I think
Maybe that's a good advice for businesses is have an idea of which parts you will eventually employ, which order you would look for people.
Yeah.
You know, how you would find what is the next person you're going to employ. But I think it naturally comes.
I think most people get stuck in, especially with the hiring, is like what you said. I can do this because I'm special, like at the top, but to pass it on to someone, they want the job to be done as good as they can do.
Sometimes you have to let go, man. You have to let go of things.
Yeah.
Like we learned that.
Yeah.
You have to let go. You know, like sometimes I used to sit on the. So I used to be I do all the. I'm head of sales, like the sales team. Sometimes I'll be on the phone, and I'll hear someone else on the phone, and I'll be like, "Oh, why did you say that for? Like, why did you say that?"
Shouldn't have said that.
But if I go to them and say, "Oh, why did you say that? Why did you do that? I would have done it like this." I'm not gonna just knock their confidence. Or what? So what I do, I used to have a habit. Yeah, when I used to talk to a customer, I used to walk out and talk to the customer outside. Now I don't do that. I purposely sit in the room, let everyone hear what I say, because I know that they're picking up education from me.
Yeah.
So now I'm back in the room. I never talk to a customer outside anymore. I talk in front of everyone. Let everyone hear my conversation because they're going to learn from me.
100%.
So I purposely do that now. I sit there and let everyone listen to what I'm saying. And then the next 2 days later, they're on the conversation. I'm like, they listen to my
It
conversation.
goes
They heard me
into the
say that.
subconscious mind.
They heard that because I used to do that sometimes. Oh, that's a good thing to say. Like, do you know what I mean? It's normal.
Yeah.
So
I think how you show it to your team, I think it's every day. I think they see it in you every single day. The way, like, for example, if I've got a new project manager, I'd make them sit into multiple meetings with me just to shadow what we're doing.
Okay.
And they start to pick up the way you talk, the way you present yourself, the way you get things out of clients, understanding the client. And a lot of, like, yesterday's meeting I had, and I was in the meeting for 4 hours, and we hardly spoke about the event. Most of the time, we just got on. We just generally just started talking, and the trust just builds from there. That people they buy into you. When they're buying into the service industry. Okay, if they were looking for, yours is very bespoke, like staircases, yeah? But yours is bespoke. So there's not many people in your industry.
Yeah.
But when somebody looking at aluminium windows, yeah,
Handy.
that's a fine example. First thing they're going to look at is a price. Yeah, the price tag they're looking, yeah,
Handy.
and they buy into that. But when it comes down to a bespoke service, entertainment, they buy into you. And I feel that your team see you, the way you conduct yourself to a client in a meeting is important. And it's not about a sales meeting. This is about them liking you and trusting you. And I think the trust is the biggest thing in this industry.
I 100% agree. I think ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਟੀਮ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਾਰੀ ਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਨ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੇ ਲੇਜ਼ੀ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਈਏ ਆਪਾਂ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਦ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਿਆ ਸੀ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਉਹ ਜਦ ਕਰਨੋਂ ਹਟ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਟੀਮ ਦੇਖਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬੰਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਹੁਣ ਮਤਲਬ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਫੋਕਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਨਾ ਪੈਸ਼ਨੇਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ I guess they see that, right?
They do, but I think we're lucky again because, you know, with the events industry, it's always evolving.
Okay.
And it's always fun. When you see, you know, when you're delivering an event, right? And you see the whole process of how it come together from the plans of meeting the client from the start and creating that event. And you see the execution, you get that wow factor, you're there and people are thanking you like, wow, you know, you see their emotions and everything. And then you see the whole thing getting executed. That reward you can't buy. It's just that experience of having the client thanking you.
Everything coming together.
Yeah, and then with events, you keep doing it. You could keep reinventing that wheel and just keep going. And that feeling is so magical, honestly.
Priceless.
Thank you so much, brother. We learned a lot from you.
I think you're doing such an amazing thing, especially for our culture. And there's a gap in the market for this as well. And what you're doing, and I think the younger people out there, they need to see more Panjabi people shown in this light, and that we are successful business people. We're not just singers and, you know, entertainment people. We're successful business people. And I think more and more you guys showcase this. You're show's going to do even better, and it's already doing amazing. It's going to grow even more.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And like Jazz said earlier as well, you guys are doing amazing, and we're so grateful that you chose us to be part of your journey.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll do it again one day.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're here at Kudos. We're just going to give you a little tour around the place just to give you an idea of the operation here. So it's going to be a bit random, but we'll see how it goes. So
I'm excited.
Thank you.
this area here is our service area. So it's where equipment comes in, back broken, or it just needs servicing, cleaning or something like that. So we have a team normally working here. It looks like they're off today, but yep. So we have all of our service area. So over here, they've probably opened some lights up, which they'll be servicing.
Are they खराब हो गई हैं या कुछ something like that?
Not always damaged. Sometimes they just need cleaning. You know, with they have fans and dust goes in there.
So you have full-time
person.
employees working on this stuff.
Two people working.
Two people on
service. Yeah, servicing equipment. Yeah.
And then ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ train ਕਰਨਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਔਖਾ?
So we were lucky. So the guy that we took on, his name's Alex, who runs this department.
Yeah.
He worked for a filming company before, and he used to service their kit. Right. So he brought all of his experience on board, and then adapted the way. Once you're into that engineering and understanding stuff, so he repairs all the LED modules and everything. Yeah. But because he understands it now, from before, he's just adapted that work style to our equipment.
That's good to
So, yeah, he gets his head around circuit boards and whatnot.
That's good. Are a certified electrician has to be or not really?
Yeah, he's certified.
Okay.
He is, but you don't need to be for servicing and fixing stuff. No.
You don't need to be.
You don't need to be. Yeah.
No
So so over here is area where they prep racks. So most important thing within our business is when you're turning up to events, you're limited for time.
Yeah.
So a lot of we always say, I mean, one of the most key part of a successful events business in the production side is all about preparation.
Okay.
So what they do in this area is they prep all of the equipment, so all the racks and everything. Jidahan show, and they've got a full band there. Unnu pata hona chahiye enne microphone chahiye, air sound, enne amp. So what they do, rather than taking loads of stuff there, they'll prepare racks which are like modules. So for example here, so they'll get a flight case, and then they will stack up all the different parts. So they'll get the different parts for that rack.
Allocate kar denge job.
Yeah, so they'll stack it up in the right way to do all of that.
Yeah, I guess the organization is pretty important for it.
Yeah.
So do you mind sharing? ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ equipment ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ spend ਕਰਤੇ ਪੈਸੇ? Since you started
It's in the millions now.
Millions.
I mean, we just bought a big, so with LED screens, you have to buy it in one batch, otherwise it doesn't match the colors.
Okay.
So recent investment we done was over $1 million, which was over 1,000 square meters of LED screen.
Crazy.
So stuff like that is always big investment. Like this printer we bought recently, which I'll show you the print department.
Yeah.
But this is a hybrid printer, roll and flatbed printing.
Okay.
Again, this is like 300, 400 gram printer.
Nice.
So investment.
Investment of idea.
So over here, the jobs will come in. You can see it, and they will start preparing it. But this is a rack where I showed you upstairs. This looks like they've prepared a rack for a job. So this is probably a preparation for a rack. So they'll get everything ready.
Yeah.
So jo the job they done there, plug and play.
This is for the DJ stuff, yeah?
Well, the big production.
The big production stuff, yeah.
So here, obviously, part of the warehouse.
Yeah.
I'll show you over here. So we've got the flatbed print, the hybrid printer.
Yeah.
This is the cutting machine over here.
Oh, nice.
So
CNC?
yeah, the CNC, yeah, but a digital router's got a camera and stuff like that. Okay. So you could print and then cut. You cut in different sort of stuff,
Designs,
shapes and style, all different sort of stuff.
Okay. It's interesting.
Over here we have another flatbed printer.
Yeah.
There's another flatbed printer printing and get cut. Over there, the laser cutting machine for smaller detail stuff.
Okay. So laser cut machine.
Yeah, so the laser cut and the roll printer there.
Okay, nice.
And then like behind here, you can see there's a glossy dance floor or a bar getting printed here.
Yeah.
So you see in action. So
This is the deliveries and the pickups and
deliveries, pickups. So as you can see, today they're probably prepping jobs. Trucks are coming in.
Yeah.
They probably start loading up trucks. And so there's
Friday
preps.
से तो busy day होगा कि नहीं?
Friday is a busy
Because
day.
you're prepping for the
but
weekend.
every day is busy.
Every day
because
is
you're
busy.
prepping every day, especially now it's wedding season.
Oh, yeah,
so it's like events back to back every day.
Okay.
So there's jobs coming in, out, and everything. So we also have the yard on the other side, which we've got plans in for another warehouse.
Okay.
So we're building
Extra equipment storage करनी है?
Yeah, what we're gonna do? Yeah, we're gonna because our print department's growing quite fast. We're gonna dedicate that for a print area.
Right,
So
okay.
we've got the plans in with the council at the moment to grow another warehouse.
Okay.
So we take you over
Yeah,
here.
please.
This is Gareth. He looks after our warehouse.
I'm Harry.
Yeah.
maybe.
So how many trucks have you loaded today?
4 trucks today, we've got another 3 to go.
Yeah. So 7 trucks today are getting
So
loaded.
4 trucks, that means how many wins?
Sorry?
How many wins that equates to?
I think that's 7, that's between 7 events.
Yeah.
7 wins.
So still got 3 more.
Is that average every day? 4
We've got
trucks?
5 vans and 7 dry hires going out as well.
Right. Is that every day? That number?
This week has been pretty much every day.
Right, okay. अच्छा dance floor हर बारी custom बनता?
Every time's custom.
Every time custom.
Printed custom dance floor.
It's
Yeah.
printed custom.
Yeah. But
I guess the base is the same.
Base is the same, yeah.
Base is
So
the same.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. So the subfloor is the same. So like this is some sort of like a custom backdrop getting built here.
Yeah.
As you can see, the guys are.
And
Well,
with the-
at
with
the
the
moment,
base-
the workshop's a mess at the moment because it's so busy.
Charlie Bogus today.
Yeah, it's so
Do you
busy.
try to sort of make sure the waste is the minimum, or you try to use as much
Yeah,
as you
no,
can?
we reuse a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
it's really important to reuse as much as possible. Obviously, the overprint stuff,
Yeah.
which is the main bits, they're something that you can't avoid.
Yeah.
You know, you have to use it and throw it away. But we're always looking at eco-friendly materials, stuff that's biodegradable and stuff like that. So all of the backdrops that we do now, the materials are eco-friendly. So,
Yeah.
so all these things are.
So when you started, obviously another setup नहीं सीगा.
100.
You had to outsource these stuff or?
No, we never did this. So we were the first ones to invent the whole printed dance floors and bars and everything.
Right,
So this is when earlier I mentioned that, you know, we bought printers, done this and that. Jazz was always like, are you sure, you know, why are we buying so much?
Yeah.
And these are big investments and over time.
Is it risk taking today? Obviously, like
Yeah,
we're
no, but I
talking.
always had the vision of what it can do.
Yeah.
But sometimes for me, I don't know, I struggle to explain at
Makes
the time
sense.
why
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing this, but
Yeah.
there's a reason. Over here, upstairs, we have all the different modules and stuff that we reuse. So,
Okay.
like we mentioned earlier, it's important to reuse as much as possible.
100%, yeah.
So, like for example, the stairs for the stages, the bar carcasses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Those things get reused, which we store upstairs here.
Basically, ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬਾਰੀ मतलब fixed lengths and measurements ने we same use
We have all of that in stock.
have all of that.
I have loads of different shapes, sizes, and whatnot.
But obviously ਇਹ ਹੌਲੀ inventory build ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ.
and obviously we built stuff
you-
in the past where it's completely bespoke,
Yeah.
which people pay a premium for
Yeah.
because it's just for the custom for
Custom.
their event.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the times we'll use those custom items, and unfortunately it has to get recycled.
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਯਾਦ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਅੱਛਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੁਝ
Oh,
ਹੈ?
we have a system. So all
We
of
have a
us. So we have another system which manages all the inventory.
Okay. ਵੀ
So
ਕੀ
you
stock
could-
ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ?
Yeah, you could on the system you could check your availability, je bar book ka koi cheez hai na,
Okay.
wo sara das denge tanu kehdi cheez lahegi. If we're short of it, then we'll build it. Or there's other companies out there will rent it in. If we don't feel that it's worth doing, we'll just rent it in.
ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝ
So we work out if something's like going to go out again, then we'll obviously
just build it.
build it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then this area here.
Oh, good.
So we've got another guy prepping the jobs here. This is a spray booth, so
Okay.
we could do spray finish as well.
Paint.
Yeah, so paint and finish, so we have all of that. Okay.
ये automatic है या मतलब you have to
No,
do
no hand spray.
hand
yeah.
spray. Okay.
Yeah, so we're just commissioning it again at the moment. So we're just running new extraction.
So
and
just
stuff.
different colors and
Whatever, yeah, spray. So sometimes certain finishes, rather than printed finish,
Okay.
they want it nicely printed. Because we do also take on fit out jobs.
Okay,
So like
yeah.
say somebody's got a restaurant or a bar or a shopping centre, we've done work at loads of places, and they want certain bespoke elements made. We've gone in there, we built bars and restaurants and whatnot. So we can take on more projects than just weddings.
I guess it's good to have a business to sort of have in different.
Especially after we mentioned about COVID, you have to think out of the box.
Out of the box, yeah.
This is the good beauty about our business is that if one side's quiet, another side's busy. So there's 360. There's always. And then also people come to us and they want things built and we sell it to other suppliers.
Okay.
So we're building for a lot of trade work as well. So अपनी मर्जी है जितना काम चक्को ना कर लो मतलब if we want to take on more work there's plenty of work out there
फिर ये इन्ना मतलब customized काम है costing के में workout होती है जिसमें हर बारी
with customization so we have the guys that do the draft plans and everything and they from the plans from 3Ds and whatnot they can work out materials we know the cost of materials time
and certain amount of profit you have to have on there
they know with a lot of it with the experience now they could even look at a job and work it out they're so good at it all day pata lag janda getting time it's like you doing staircase you sort of straight away in your head you know what things custom's going to cost but obviously it depends on it if you're using teak wood or oak wood or this wood that wood it all depends on the finish same with us print or paint finish paint's a lot more you've got multiple layers and for sanding all that time zyada lag janda hai so there'll only be a certain amount of clients for that but print's a lot easier you print it you wrap it use it and you can just go so it's more just how you make things look it looks really nicely finished but it's it's just there for that one time use because you're in London right these are the first warehouses closest to London so the cost is
very high
it's very high so this is
What's happening, lads?
Hello, we're finally here.
having fun
so this part of our office earlier I mentioned this legend on the interview which is John this is John so he looks after a lot of the operations and whatnot if you want to talk about AI he knows a lot about it and systems as well
oh wow
so
what can you tell us about some systems that we people can incorporate in their businesses to help automate
Well, there's a lot of systems. My favorite one is this one right here. It's Monday.com. It's called. Where you can track and monitor all your workload, all your managers, what they're doing, the tasks, who's falling behind, who has too much on, so that you can redirect to get it done in time.
Okay, nice.
That's so good.
Automates between departments as well. So for example, if sells something that has to do with print, it automatically triggers the print department. When a project manager finishes a print form, for example, it triggers downstairs so they can start printing. The more automation, the better.
That's so good.
Nice. I guess that
actually looks good.
Eliminates all the mistakes that people can make.
No, it's efficiency. Because if we're not efficient and we have to stay overtime, then we need to pay everyone overtime to
100%.
finish it in time. So that's costing us money.
And so this gives them a target as well with the timing?
Yes.
It's target with the timing
I
as
can
well.
set a target with the timing too.
Oh, right, okay.
And I can monitor how long it takes to do a task.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. But how do you make sure
It's
it's...
not good for them, but...
How do you make sure
Put
it's
them under
fair
pressure.
timing for them? It's not overly...
That's where the experience comes into play. So, for example, most of the tasks I know how to do myself, and I know how long it's taking me to do them. So I know how long it will take them to do it.
Okay.
If it's a junior project manager, I know it's going to take longer, so I give them more time. But if it's someone experienced, I know how long it takes to do.
Fair enough, no worries. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Nice to meet you, John.
Same, man.
so this is for example some sort of job so this is a venue
Okay.
and he'll create everything in 3D so what we've done is we've built libraries for a lot of the venues we're in regular
Right.
so we've made it look like what it looks like on the day so this is a London venue looks like Grosvenor House ballroom and he'll have a 3D plan of it which then we've got like VR headsets as well so sometimes we show our clients in 3D and they can walk through the venue as well. So we do like a walkthrough in VR. So that will give you an idea on the day. And he'll do renders.
So it's all using Vector?
This is Vectorworks,
Is this before the sale or after the sale? They can.
Obviously,
It depends. Sometimes we do a lot of this before the sale. Because if we're winning like a big corporate client, then fit up a but it depends on
I mean, I guess it's easy to sell it when you made them feel and experience it.
Yeah. So it depends. Yeah, it depends.
Yeah,
Sometimes
depends,
you do
yeah.
it. Sometimes if you feel that is a big pitch and it's worth investing time into it,
Yeah.
then you do it beforehand.
Yeah.
But if you know that it's not, it's all
Yeah.
relevant. Yeah. Some companies expect that. Some people don't. They just want to quote.
Some have expectations.
Yeah.